There we are, ladies and gentlemen, to my fellow Marines around the world, welcome. This is A Marine's Disquisition, and we're heard live from Simmerfold, Russia, Sochi, Russia, Kazan, Russia, to the 6 counties of Northern Ireland, to the North Island of Scotland, to the South Island of New Zealand. And I want to welcome the new college down there, not new college, but, and I can't be honest with you, I can't pronounce the name, but it's named after a volcano, and the editorial staff of the on-campus radio station is broadcasting A Marine's Disquisition live for the first time, and we want to thank them for doing so. Ring a Toto or something like that, Rings a Toto, and I apologize, guys, I haven't got it written down, so I'll get back to you on that. And to the gentlemen and the ladies in Australia, Brisbane, and the six territories of the Outback, welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thursday, the 25th day of February 2010, and yes, I do know about the horrible and tragic strikes that's been going on the last 3 days in Greece. It is now dark over there, 2307 minutes, hours. We do know that there's a lot of problems over there with tens of thousands of people taking to the streets throughout all major Greek cities, and they're protesting the tax hikes, a massive tax hike, and the benefit cuts in the general, for the first general strike to hit this new government, this socialist government that was elected back in October to take their hand and grab a hold of the spiraling debt that is approached on man today. The international forecaster, founded by this man, let you all know that this was going to happen months ago, years ago. Bob Chapman warned people here in the United States years ago, get your money out of the banks, get ready for the world crisis collapse. It's coming. And in 2007, on this very show, on A Marine's Disquisition, heard on American Voice Radio, and the name of the show was an American Disquisition. I changed the name to A Marine's Disquisition when we came over to the Marine Corps Network, i.e., it's not the United, it doesn't belong to the government, but it belongs to fellow Marines, and we call the network Wind Talkers Radio Network, made up of Marines that's basically expatriated. They've retired, they've left the country, they've joined the spouse in which they have married in places like Ireland, New Zealand, Scotland, Russia, the Ukraine, and other places around South America. I welcome all of you guys to the show, and I give kudos to those of you that have got the guts to get up and say, hey, look, man, I'm going a wife to love and respect me, and I can't make it in America on a military retirement salary, so I can live here and I'm finding other places to live. Well, they have, ladies and gentlemen. And I welcome all of those Marines around the world, and I salute them all. Semper Fi, guys. Bob Chapman has been giving you the information going on 5 years on my show. Other shows, he's been on the radio. He's left the United States. He's expatriated himself because the boys in Washington, D.C., and the boys up in New York, they didn't want him to put the truth out. Bob Chapman is the man that is most plagiarized in every financial newspaper, on the internet, on talk shows. I hear his words coming out of the mouths of other people. I listened to Max Kaiser this morning do his diatribe, and I heard Max quote Bob Chapman 7 times in 20 minutes, but he never gave one iota credit to Mr. Bob Chapman. I want you all to stand up and salute this man because he's on our show, and we welcome to our show, and he's got outstanding input. Welcome to the show, Mr. Chapman.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say that, and I'm also proud I'm a veteran, too, which most of these people are not, who, quote, compete with me. They were too busy doing other things to serve their country. But anyway, you're right, and we started writing about this fiasco back 10 years ago, actually longer than that, in relation not only to Greece but to Italy. And we said that they were Mickey Mousing the books at the time, and Goldman Sachs was helping them. And Germany and France and the rest of them knew it, and they just looked the other way. They wanted them in, and so they came in, and this situation has just gotten progressively worse year after year, and no one said anything. And now, for reasons I think are in part of their planning, they've risen this terrible situation in Greece at this particular time, because I think what they're trying to do is use Greece as a model, because there are 16 countries, including the United States and Great Britain, incidentally, who are in no better condition than Greece is. And I think that sometime after October, that, and by the end of the next year, that there will be a big meeting of countries, like the Smithsonian meetings in the early 70s and the Plaza Accord of 1985 and the Louvre Accord of 1987. And as you can see, there's nothing unusual about this. It's happened before, but not in such a big way. And they will have that kind of a meeting, and currencies will be revalued and devalued against one another, and there will be a multilateral agreement on debt reduction, and my guess is it'll be 30 cents on the dollar will be paid to the people who were the lenders, and the borrowers will get away with writing off 2/3 of their debt. I think that there will be over 100 countries that will officially devalue their currencies, and maybe as many as 200, because the box that the countries are in that did what they were supposed to do financially, which would be fiscally in particular, and monetarily, they're going to be forced to devalue as well. Otherwise, they won't be able to compete, because if a dollar was is only worth 1/3 of what it was before, they're going to have to take their currencies down too. The big one is that the people or countries that have natural resources, because they'll go up substantially in value, as will gold and silver, because it's the only place for people to go that's safe. But anyway, they'll have this meeting, and I think the U.S. will devalue its currency, 3 old ones for 1 new one. And I think that there's a possibility of this whole Greek situation breaking down, and I see the demonstrations, and I have links in Saturday's issue going to that. I just pulled them off today. And I did see Max Kaiser's interview, and you're right. Nobody can get that close to what I say without listening. And I'm happy that he's able to do that. I don't need the credit. Where I'm going, they don't put that on your tombstone. But the important thing is that other people are realizing that what I have to say is realistic and probably the way things are going to happen. And you can't be right all the time, nor can you be 100%, but I get pretty close all the time. And so I believe that that's going to be the structure of the future. Of course, stock markets throughout the world will go down, interest rates will go up, and it will make the bond markets go down. Commercial and residential real estate continue to fall. You don't want to be there because it's going to get worse, and then it's going to bump along the bottom for years, because the outcome of this multilateral agreement, and incidentally, they'll form a new international currency unit for trading, not a world currency, and that will be based upon the G20 countries' currencies, and they'll be weighted as to the financial condition. And that unit will have to be backed at least 15% by gold, or it's not going to fly. It'll fall apart just like the dollar did and extend the deflationary depression, which will begin when they do this.